Hi, my name is Christina, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. This channel focuses on the topic of narcissistic personality disorder, narcissism, narcissistic abuse. If you or anyone you know is experiencing this, I genuinely hope my videos can help you on your journey. Today's topic I wanted to discuss is the term love, as it occurs in a narcissistic relationship, with how the victim feels on their end, how the person that has NPD replicates the idea of love on their end, what it means when a person that has NPD says they love you, and I hope that I can give you a better understanding of this notion. If so, please like, subscribe, share this video, and let's spread awareness on this. So when you're falling in love with someone and when you're developing feelings for them in the beginning of a relationship, you have serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin being released and generated in your brain. Dopamine's main role in your brain is to not only correlate with the pleasure center of your brain, but with the reward as well. So when you do something for someone, you're going to feel good about doing it because there's going to be a cause and reaction factor. So essentially what it's teaching your brain to do is if you do something for this person or do this action, you're going to get a reward because of it. This factor alone, with that dopamine being released in your brain, is going to both help you and screw you over in this type of relationship. On the victim's end of this, you are in a relationship that you have never seen anything like this. It feels like a fairy tale. In the beginning of every single narcissistic relationship, there is love bombing. They're doing things for you that maybe no one else has ever done. They are showing you all this attention and appreciation. You have to keep in mind that there was a reason in the beginning of this relationship that they saw something in you that made them gravitate towards you. It could be your career, it could be your looks, it could be the things you did for them, it could be your personality in general, where they genuinely do have a connection with you, but their entire core sense of self is completely built upon the standpoint of self-serving behavior, me, and they get their validation from an external source, which is other people. So when they're doing these nice things for you in the beginning of a relationship, you're under this false pretense where you no longer, at this point, you do not know what you are going to be getting into. You are thinking that this person on the receiving end of this gestures that you're giving genuinely loves you too, and that is why they're doing it back. This person that has NPD is doing these things for you because they are receiving external validation in your relationship. Maybe they're going out of their way for you to treat you very special. They're buying you things. They're telling you how much they care about you. They're genuinely showing the outside world, just as they show the outside world an idea of the person they want to perceive to others, that you are something special to them. So that is where those actions are coming from. It is self-serving behavior, and you are viewed as an appliance. A vacuum cleaner vacuums, a dishwasher washes dishes, and you are doing things to make that person's life more beneficial or getting that external source of validation and to feed that grandiose behavior. On your end of it, the people that are most susceptible to be in these types of relationships are empaths, those with borderline personality disorder. If you grew up in a narcissistic household and have a narcissistic parent, from a young age, you are taught that you have to chase validation. And that's what makes those little tiny broken promises, the future faking in the beginning with a narcissistic parent, escalate in the future and become larger and larger broken promises, chasing more and more validation. So you end up in these types of relationships. And that is why once this type of relationship is said and done, to heal yourself, you not only have to heal from the things done to you, but you also have to heal the things inside of you that from a young age, if you had abandonment issues, just different types of trauma, it all comes to the surface and you have to heal yourself and rebuild who you are as a person again. So we're setting this up and putting this person on a pedestal because we believe we have hit the jackpot of a Disney-like fantasy that everything is perfect. The thing is, we see this person for their imperfections and their perfections. No one is perfect, but we are perfectly imperfect for each other. So this person may be a match for you and you do work very well together, but we also understand that this other human being is not perfect. They're going to make mistakes, they're going to mess up. We do not gauge that down the line anything like this is going to happen to us, so we allow ourselves to give all of our time, effort, energy into this said relationship. On the opposite end of this, you have this person that sees this thing in you that attracted them to you, this person that has NPD. They're looking at you as a source of validation. They're being told by other people what a great boyfriend they are, what a great husband they are, what a great kid they are, if it's the star child and you're the scapegoat. It's all about how they are perceived to others, where they don't even oftentimes realize that during the invalidation process, they're actually controlling their own feelings towards you, because that dopamine center in your brain, as it's being released, it teaches you the cause and reaction, where you're getting rewarded for doing good behavior. Well, if someone invalidates you, you're not going to no longer look good. So they are looking at you like you are this prize because you give them a source of supply. And a source of supply to a narcissist can be good or bad. At this point, you are the positive supply in their life. They're being praised, you're being admired, they think that you are better than gold, and they're telling the whole world about this. A person that has NPD has a very, very low sense of self-esteem. Their core is based off of, from a very young age when this is installed in them. It could be, from a child where they have one very controlling, cold parent and one very loving, overgiving, selfless parent. Their whole sense of self is built off the aspect of what their achievements, accomplishments are. So when they're achieving and they're meeting goals in this relationship with you, it's based on how they make you look. It is all about control and power in these types of relationships. They could be with you because, again, your looks, because of what you can do for them, because of your career, because of money. There is something that is in it for them. They're using it to mask, looking at themselves inside to see what their imperfections and insecurities are, because it allows them to focus on they have got this person that is allowing them to just look so good and is constantly bragging and boasting about them, that it allows them to turn away and not look in the mirror and reflect on themselves, take accountability or do any self-reflection to fix these things inside of them that have been installed from a young age. So when a narcissist looks at you and says that they love you, what that means is, I love what you can do for me. I love the way that you are convenient in my life. I love the benefits and tangible things I can get from you. I love the way you make me look, and I love the validation I get from this relationship. Again, everything is viewed as an appliance, and this is very self-serving behavior. So when that person has that dopamine and it's telling them to do these positive things where they once did in the beginning, down the line, when a person is using this invalidation of you, where they once validated you and looked at you as a source of supply, you were their main supply source. Well, once their insecurities start ramping up, maybe it's a mix of, they're pretty, therefore they're going to cheat, or if God forbid they done something to show they're not perfect, that is an act not only against humanity, but on them as a person. You are supposed to be representing everything that they are. So by showing that you're, God forbid, not a perfect human being, regardless of the indiscretions you have forgiven them for, the things they have done wrong, you're understanding that this person was not perfect to begin with, but you loved them for who they were as a person, the good, the bad, the ugly. Anything that happens, which is what happened in my case, where something happens and you're not perfect, instead of the supply source being your main source where they're constantly praising you, now it turns to playing the victim. They will go and talk about you. They will have what's called a smear campaign, which is a term in narcissistic abuse. That is where they are going, and the enablers in their life and to the people that do not know the side of them, they are making everything look as if you are the problem. It is not them. It allows them to, again, focus not on who they are and their part in something and the things they should be fixing from within, but it just lets them know that it's you. They're at this point trying to convince not only themselves, you, and the others around that you are the problem. That invalidation you're getting, where you have that horrible negative self-talk from constantly being deemed worthless or constantly being put down, you start to believe it. The other people that you have at one point bragged about this person to, they've only seen the good side of this person. That person is an enabler in their life, or a person that has never had to see the side of them because they are a person that they've never had to compete with in any aspect. So all they know is the good side. And now these people are the ones that they're now getting a supply source and validation from as the victim, turning the entire story back on you. That is the most painful part of these relationships, is because these are completely fixable factors in a normal, healthy relationship with someone that does understand their wrongdoings and where they should be correcting and catching themselves and holding themselves accountable. But instead, with someone that has NPD, they are very unlikely to get help. It takes an extremely traumatic event to cause any type of change and for them to want to seek help. And that is why oftentimes they will change so little, it's not even enough of a change to be worthwhile and worth noting. If someone does actually take the steps to get help, it is extremely rare. But that is what causes the drive for the love that's in these relationships. Love is patient, love is kind. Love does not brag or boast. The indiscretions that have been committed to you in this type of relationship are nothing by what the definition of love should be. There's a high probability that you have forgiven so many indiscretions and faults in this other person, yet that same kindness and compassion has not been restored to you in the slightest. You are being invalidated and treated worse, and you are no longer a source of someone. They don't want to go out of their way for you anymore, because at this point they're so indifferent about you that they don't want to go out of their way to do nice things. How would that make them look if they're constantly putting you out there as a non-existent person or unimportant source of their life? Why would they do nice things for you? Now, anyone with any sense would know that if you hurt someone that you genuinely care about, if you did some indiscretion or you caused a scenario to be looked at as if this person is a monster, you would go out of your way to fix it and you would never let it get that bad. These types of people will firmly put into their heads that it's your fault and that you are the problem. So they think by a new relationship is going to come along and fix this issue, and they just start the whole cycle all over again. But the problem is within themselves, and unless they take the steps to fix it and actually hold themselves accountable and take responsibility, then nothing is going to change. A new relationship cannot change the fact that you are going to repeat the same cycle because of something that is installed in your core sense of self, especially when that core sense of self is slim to none to begin with. It's wrong, and no one deserves it. And you have to remember that they looked for something inside of you, and destroying that light and being superior to you if they cannot control you is the only means they have of validation in that scenario. I will be releasing additional content on this topic. If you or someone you know has experienced this, I encourage you to like, subscribe, and share this. And I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys again soon.